So welcome back. We're back with NileValleyCiv 16. And so in NileValleyCiv 16, we're going to start out with the 42 declarations of Maat. If I could put kind of a label on it, I don't know if this is quite accurate because it still might not give you the full understanding of what it is. But I'm going to relate it to that because how Maat ends up playing out in our modern day Western world still relates to what I'm about to say. But if I could relate the 42 declarations of Maat to our current thinking about laws, it would be like the foundation of all of our laws, like the Declaration of, is it the Declaration? No, the Constitution, okay? Constitution is supposed to be like what a lot of the laws are based on. And so the 42 Declaration of Maat are principles in which society was based on at the time, civilization was based on at the time. And so I'm not going to read all 42, and we will see, you will get a look at them, but I just want you to understand the overall concept. So, and this is a depiction of one, there's going to be several that I will show you, but this particular piece as an art piece is bronze and sort of it's been weathered over a period of time, but it's bronze, and it is what was gilded wood. It has a little bit of gild left on it, but not a lot. And so the bird body right here is gilded wood, okay? And so he's an ibis bird, and this is the masculine. This is the masculine and the feminine together, okay? So we have the ibis bird, which is in the form of Tehuti, and this is Maat, and she's squatting. And I will give you the proper spelling of their name in a bit. Well, let me give it to you now. Okay, so Maat is M, like Mary, double A, T. M-double-A-T. Tehuti, in the form of the ibis bird, is T like Tom, E, H like hooray, U, T, I, Tehuti. Okay, so that's Tehuti. So these are, they partner, they work together. And when we see one partner with the other, like Geb and Newt, Maat and Tehuti, not only do they go together, but they typically complement each other in terms of what their function is. And so there's more that's going on, it's more than bird and woman that is squatting. So here's another example of Tehuti and Maat played out. This is Maat here. This is Tehuti here. And this is also Maat right here, symbolically, okay? And so Maat always wears a large plume feather on the top of her head. And this is the feather by which hearts are weighed next to. So it is very much about when it's symbolically in the afterlife that this is supposed to be happening. But really, notice that they're not bound. She's bound here, okay? She's a little bit bound here. But let's really look at this. This is supposed to be in the afterlife, but technically, the 42 declarations of Maat were contemplated and thought about every morning, and every evening. And so people were reviewing their own behavior in the morning and in the evening. And so Maat, she's the embodiment of the laws, the embodiment by which one is supposed to check their own moral behavior, their own thought processes and their emotions, perhaps. All of that, she's encompassing all of that, just as who she is showing up in the world. And in the form of female, because thoughts birth things, emotions can birth things, and of course, the human form actually births things. Okay. And then Tehuti, he's an inscriber, he's a writer, he's male, he's doing an outward kind of a function in writing. That's something that is an outward movement. Okay. And so everything that Maat scales out, everything that she weighs out against the lightness of the feather. The whole idea is to keep the whole phrase, keep your heart light as a feather. That came from this. And I'm going to get through this whole thing. Okay. And so this is Tehuti. He's recording. Notice that he's a male form, but he has this Ibis bird head, and he is recording. Now, why the Ibis bird? Again, okay, this is a netter. Ma'at is a netter, right? An aspect to direct one how to live in the greater one. And so Tehuti is recording the information, writing down the result of what happens. It's almost like I said, this can happen every night. So it's almost like, okay, I'm going to go over the principles of Maat. I'm going to deal with the feminine aspect and feel how that feels, right? And then allow that to be with the masculine aspect of whatever it is that how my day went, right? So feel how it feels, do a little brief review in your mind and in your heart. And then Tehuti records it, records what's happening. And then after that, you can assess what you're going to do with the information. But if it's really recorded, and it's recorded especially with emotion, then sometimes the hope is that the lesson isn't lost. The hope is that you don't have to repeat the lesson anymore. Tomorrow's another day, and you can do better. Okay. Now, how this whole process is often presented is in the passing. You know, someone has passed, someone has shifted on, and a lot of times it's a pharaoh that they've moved on, and then and their heart is being weighed against the lightness of Ma'at's feather. And so it's an ostrich feather. I don't know if I said that. I called it a plume feather, but it's from an ostrich. So it's a fairly light one, but at the same time, it does have a little bit of weight because ostriches are not the smallest birds on the planet. So, but it's still a feather, so it's going to have a certain amount of lightness to it. It won't be heavy at all. And so the idea is to come back in the next day, right? With a lighter heart, because hopefully you recorded whatever it is that was going on inside your heart to really feel it. It's not enough to know it, you got to feel it, right? And then when you feel it, and then you can move better in a better way. And then so the other thing that has to be done, and the other thing that has to be processed in this particular process. Again, these are aspects of the creator, and it's a representation of how one can think about how to move and maneuver in life. So this would be called Anubis in Greek. I forget what her name is in Greek, but in Kemet, she was called Ammut, Ammit. I believe it's Ammut. And we'll talk about what she's made up of. And then this is Inpu or Anpu, and that was his original Kemetic name. Remember, he's the distinguisher. So you want to, once all of these things are recorded about the heart, and all of these things are recorded about what you felt, what you did, what you didn't do, etc., whatever. You have to distinguish what of that information you're going to move forward with. So this is the action of Anpu. Distinguish what you need, what's good to keep, what's good to discard. That's Anpu. Now, if there's some stuff that you need to get rid of and you're trying to hold on to it, Anpu has a consort, and his consort is Ammut. Now, Ammut is a crocodile, or was she an alligator? She's either a crocodile or alligator. I forget which one she is. I think she's a crocodile, but it could be either or. And then she also has a lion's body and a hippopotamus body. And all of those bodies are combined. Why those particular animals? All of those animals are man eaters. Okay. So if you are having if you're having a hard time, and this is the aspect of creation, you know, the aspect of neters. If you're having a hard time of letting something go, a hard time distinguishing, a hard time moving on for your betterment, she will devour the heart, okay, so that the heart basically gets a new start the next day, okay? She won't necessarily devour it if you realize that you need to move on. But if you're having a hard time and you're stuck, that's where she comes in. She's the devourer. It's like, you know, you can't eat the bad stuff. You can't have you consuming the bad stuff. And so that's what she does. So she's the man eater. Okay. So she won't eat necessarily Anpu, because they're working together. She's the feminine, he's the masculine. Okay, so hopefully you can see how they complement. Now, that's all the story that's going on here. By the way, this is a emanation of like our modern day our modern day judicial system. I was having a hard time with that word. We got the jury up here. These are probably elders though. This would be a pharaoh. It's symbolic of a pharaoh, of course, in the form of Heru coming through and, you know, having the heart being dealt with, because this is something that, of course, a leader is expected to do. Who these women are back here, I'm not sure. People always ask me that. And one day I'm going to research it, but I have not as of yet. This is probably his mate. But these two women, just not sure. Okay. What else was I going to say? As far as the material, this material is papyrus. And remember, we talked about the word paper coming from papyrus. Papyrus is spelled P-A-P-Y-R-U-S. I will spell it again, P-A-P-Y-R-U-S. And so this is on papyrus. And so that is the basic gist of Maat. I will go into a little bit more about her in the next one. And this is what papyrus looks like. So I'll start here. But that is the end of 16.